Remember the good old days when you used to sit and play video games on your Game Boy? Or the countless hours you spent playing Pac-Man or Road Rash? If you haven't done either of these, then I'm sure you will remember the last time you played a video game on your Xbox or mobile phone. Video games have come a long way since its birth in the early 50s and has gone on to influence generation of gamers. Hello everybody, my name is Nick Thomas and today I will be talking to you about the history of video games. The history of video games can be traced back to the year 1952 when British professor A.S. Douglas created a game version of Nuts and Crosses called OXO for his doctoral dissertation at the Cambridge University. In 1958, American physicist William Higginbottom created a sports video game called Tennis for Two on a large analog computer and connected a large oscilloscope screen for the annual Visitors' Day at the Brookhaven's National Laboratory in Uptown, New Jersey. For many of you who don't know what an oscilloscope is, it is an electronic testing instrument that is used to measure electronic voltage. In 1962, American scientist Steve Russell at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology invented Spacewalk, which involved a dogfight between two spaceships. The game went on to become one of the most important and early influential video games. In 1967, developers at the Sanders Associates, led by Ralph Baer, developed a prototype multiplayer and multi-program video game that could be played on a television called the Brown Box. Baer, who's sometimes called the father of video games, licensed his device to Magnavox, which sold the system to consumers as Odyssey, the first video game home console. Interestingly, Atari's Pong, the first arcade game released in 1972, was an inspiration from Odyssey's video game. By 1977, Atari went on to release the Atari 2600, a home console with joysticks and interchangeable cartridges that featured multicolored games that kicked off the second generation of video games. By the turn of the century, a few other notable changes were made in the video game industry, such as the release of Space Invaders arcade game in 1978, the introduction of Japan's famous Pac-Man in the United States, Nintendo's creation of Donkey Kong, which introduced the world to Super Mario, and Microsoft's release of its flight simulator game. By 1983, the gaming industry created a major crash due to the surplus high-priced video games that were available in the market. However, it was only recovered when Nintendo Entertainment System came to America in 1985. They improved their 8-bit graphics, sound and colors from previous consoles and also released a number of video game franchises such as the Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda and Metroid. By 1989, they made waves again by popularizing handheld gaming with their 8-bit gaming Game Boy device called the Tetris. By 1991, Sega, with its better technological advancement, released Sonic the Hedgehog video game while giving rise to the first real console war. They also came out with Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat in the mid-1990s after being influenced by real-time movies, which led to the release of several movie-based games. With the leap in computer technology, there came the birth of three-dimensional gaming. In 1995, Sega released its first 32-bit console that played CDs instead of cartridges. The following year, Nintendo also released its 64-bit system called the Nintendo 64. However, it was Sony's PlayStation that dominated the video game market, and by 2000, the PlayStation 2 became the best-selling video game console of all time. By 2005, Microsoft's Xbox, Sony's PlayStation 3 and Nintendo's Wii kicked off high-definition gaming. Towards the end of the decade, video games spread through social media platforms such as Facebook and mobile phones, while games such as Angry Birds made huge sums of money. In 2011, Skylanders Spyro's Adventure brought video games to real world while accessorizing plastic toys as a part of the game. Disney's Infinity also featured the same. While Sony went on to release its most powerful console with 4K video output called the PlayStation Pro in 2016, Nintendo released the Nintendo Switch, which is capable of both handheld and television-based gaming in the early 2017, and Microsoft released its Xbox One X in the latter half of the year. So that's the history of video game, folks. Like, comment and share this video and do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, this is Nick Thomas signing off. Stay safe, stay hungry for knowledge. Ciao.
Hi there Knowledge Tribe. Thank you for watching. Do like and share and do not forget to subscribe to our Knowledge Tribe YouTube channel for more such content. Okay, bye.